What's going on, everybody? We got a very special guest with us in the building today. We got Mohamed Sanu, former 49ers wide receiver, is going to talk with us, give us some insight into all the stuff that's going on with the 49ers. And we're going to get into a lot of stuff after this. He's getting adjusted right now, so hopefully get some good pops on the stream and all that. But we're going to get into it all right after this. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. Oh, in the building. What's good, my guy? Thank you again for joining us. What have you been up to these days? Obviously, you're keeping your body right and doing all that kind of stuff. What's life been like for you, man?
Life's been great. Just been taking care of myself, taking care of the fam. Got a training facility, so I've been giving a lot of time and attention to that. And just staying in shape myself, but just enjoying day by day and doing the best I can to make sure I'm in the best position every day. Make sure my family's successful.
Absolutely, man. Speaking of success, the San Francisco 49ers last year went on a pretty solid run. Obviously, they've lost multiple quarterbacks. They land on Brock. They get to the NFC Championship game, and then of course, like all the injuries happen, which I'm sure you saw and witnessed all that. I was thinking about it. I was like, man, you got one of the most interesting stat lines like in NFL history. I've seen it reported multiple ways, but the numbers that I got for you are 7 for 8, 233 yards, and 4 touchdowns as a passer. Do you think if we had Mo Sanu in an emergency quarterback situation, maybe that game would have gone a little bit differently?
Oh, for sure. I ain't gonna hold you. It for sure went differently. That's like something I low key hope happens. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not to wish nothing bad, but like you, you as a kid, you always. I mean, I wanted to play quarterback in the league, but I went to school for a different position, and things
Yep.
went the way they went. But at the same time, making those throws and uh, that those trick plays that people may call it, those are fun in my career. So to have the opportunity to play a whole game and with those type of weapons, I would have had fun.
Absolutely. I remember the scouting report on you coming out of Rutgers and all that kind of stuff, and that was one of the things, man, that you could sling the rock, and that definitely showed throughout your career. Again, like almost like perfect passer rating and all that kind of stuff. But I do want to kind of talk about the 49ers, and obviously you have phenomenal insight as a player. You were with the 49ers in 2020 for a little while, and then we brought you back in 2021 where you were there the whole season, which means you kind of got a front row seat to like watching Brandon Aiyuk get drafted and kind of like that whole process. Like what was the first thing that you noticed of Brandon Aiyuk when he came on to the roster and like all that type of stuff?
Well, I noticed his skill set right away. Like, he's extremely talented, and when he first came in early on, he was really trying to figure out himself, and you could just see him each year as he progressed and he progressed, figuring out how to, become a pro, how to fit into the scheme, how, Kyle wanted him to play. And you could just see the maturation process and year after year. You could see the growth. And like I got to spend some time with him this off season. He came out to Atlanta to see some of his family, and we got a couple training sessions in together. And he looked amazing. Like, I mean, I got a little chance to tap into his mental and let him push past what he thought of himself and let him open his mind up to what he could be and his talent, what it really is. And I'm excited to see what he does this year. He's a special talent, and I'm a big fan. He knows that.
We're all a big fan. I mean, obviously, Aiyuk is ascending right now. He's a friend of the channel. We had him on earlier this offseason. And so it was super awesome to kind of see how he's worked through everything. Obviously, you were there kind of in 2021 when he started out kind of slow that year. And, I think there were a lot of expectations put on him back then. But to see him kind of work through that process, like, yeah, and you kind of spoke to it and you've already kind of alluded to it, but seeing him kind of struggle in 2021 and then get out of those struggles to now where we're talking about Brandon Aiyuk as low key being one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, like how special was it to see him kind of break through those early struggles?
Oh, it was really special because you could see him, climbing the rough side of the mountain, getting through, the nitty gritty, taking 3 steps forward and tripping and falling and taking a step back or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then but building each time and gaining more confidence and being more sure of himself. And, you can see him putting in the work with the, extra meetings that he did and always putting the extra work, being last to lead. Just stacking the days and, watching him grow and, asking questions of, those that came, before him and those that are there teaching him, like, trying to absorb all the knowledge that he can because, like, he wants to be the best. And that's really cool to see such a young player, eager to be that. And, I mean, that's what we all want to be, but it's cool to help someone, achieve those things.
And speaking of like helping someone achieve that, like for people maybe haven't been in a locker room or obviously in an NFL locker room, how much does mentorship mean? Like again, you were like the big bro in the room. Aiyuk, Deebo, Jawan, all pretty young at that time. What is it like to be in that position? To be a mentor, and how does it help these guys along?
Well, one, like, you were in that position yourself, so I was in that position myself, so I had someone who helped me in those critical moments, helped me get along and try to, you know, develop myself to becoming the player that I became my career. So it was like, it was only right to help, pass that torch along because like nobody else is gonna do it for them, and you know how this league is. If nobody you don't have a brother on the team that's willing to help you, you know, learn the ropes, learn how to become a pro, like you're not gonna have a job for long or not have a job at all. And a lot of these kids like come from situations that aren't the best or are tough, and they try to take care of their family the same way you took care of yours. So I only see it as a way like it's the best thing for me is like to pay it forward. Thank you, Doc.
Feeling good, feeling all adjusted. Oh, I heard some pops. You got your neck pretty good over there.
Oh, he's the best in the business. Dr. Jeff Malucci. If you ever in Atlanta, holla at your boy. He don't want
There
no
you
more
go.
class because he's seeing me right now.
That's awesome, man. But also too, like speaking kind of like a mentorship and stuff like that. Obviously 2021 when you were with the 49ers was also the year that Trey Lance was drafted. I think back to I think it was like right outside of OTAs. You guys went low key viral for that clip. I think he like pulled up to a workout in Malibu or something like that, and you were ribbing him a little bit, just having some fun. I like the jersey behind you.
Malucci's.
But
Gotta
but
get him right.
what was that situation like when Trey Lance entered the mix and kind of your relationship with Trey Lance?
It was the same thing. Like, actually, crazy thing is, like, I ran into Trey. I ran routes with Trey a couple years before that, prior, indirectly, without necessarily know who he is. This is when he was a young kid, and he was training in Atlanta with Quincy Avery and Dwayne Haskins. You know, my nephew at the time. So we were all running routes, and we were all out there. And I'm saying, man, this young kid's pretty talented. Like, he gonna be really good. Like, and he's young, only got no facial hair. So it was like I met his dad that day, and we didn't talk much, but it was like that was my first encounter with Trey. And then, I see his success that um, in college, and then you hear all the things they're talking about him, and seeing how everything happened, and he was such a talented player, and like trying to help him juggle all that is new. Like you go from nobody believing in you to all of a sudden everybody believing in you, and then everybody putting a lot of pressure on you to succeed right away. Like they want you to bring a Super Bowl now, and it's like, bro, I'm 18, like I'm 19, I'm 20. Like let me understand life a little bit. Like, and it's like they don't. A lot of people don't understand the pressures that a lot of these guys feel. So it's like trying to help them understand how to, cope with that, how to, you know, absorb it or how to maneuver within it and know how to stay right in the middle and, just move with grace and try to just apply all the things that they learn from life, from their childhood, from their parents, from their core values. And it's gonna help you stay and fight through all this madness.
Yeah, because it's crazy. I mean, even right now, obviously we understand like the current situation. Like it's been a week since
Mhm.
Trey Lance was traded, and that it's just crazy to kind of like look back because he's still only 23 years old. Like
Right, going
there's
23.
I think he was like younger than like 80% of the quarterbacks that entered the draft this year. So, what do you see with Trey? Like, because clearly his story isn't over. There's
Not at all.
plenty of football left, plenty of growth, personally and as a player. Well, just what do you see like with Trey moving forward and kind of his overall outcome?
I see a hungry dude that's gonna work his tail off to perfect his craft. Now that he has all the time to do so, you know what I'm saying? You know, like now that all he can do is become a pro, become the best quarterback that he can be. Just go out there and try to have that extra chip inside of you, and not keep it on your shoulders where it's vulnerable, keep it inside you where you can hold it near and dear to your heart and just go after what he wants. Like, I know Trey is a person. I know he's a competitor, and I know once he gets his opportunity to go out there and ball, he's gonna take full advantage of it. And it's just now he's just taking that rough road that I'm talking about to get into that peak to where he's gonna be able to perform at his top level.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously it's been a tough situation for him, but like I'm sure you can relate and you kind of spoke to it. Like you go through some rough patches early on, it kind of hardens you, right? It kind of like you like already been through the worst. Like what else can happen? And like we just keep building, we keep stacking, and we just keep moving on. Because again, he's 23 years old, so he's still got a full career ahead of him. Obviously, tough that it didn't work out with the 49ers with all the stuff that went down. Obviously, a lot of it was injury related and just not getting those opportunities at the end. But I think for the most part, we all wish him the best, and he's still got a big career ahead of him. And so hopefully landing in Dallas will work out good for him and all that type of stuff. But also because you were on the roster at that time, we had some stuff kind of percolate this week. Jimmy Garoppolo, which again was throwing you passes throughout the years, was he called the quarterback situation weird. Kyle referred to it as unique. And as a player in the locker room, again, understanding the business of football, and it is what it is, right? They're going to bring guys in all the time. Um, what's your perception of kind of that whole quarterback situation that played out in 2021?
I felt like it was, like you said, unique and different, and I felt like they had to handle it in the best way that they could. Like it was like a lot of expectations, and um, you can't always meet all of them, but you can try to, you know, make new expectations for yourself and your team. And it's like trying to, sprinkle train or build train, but not force it upon them, letting them learn and trying to have, Jimmy as somebody that he can learn from, but also Jimmy is as the leader of the team. So it's like it's just a lot of different stuff that, you know, you just had to roll with. And, us being, teammates and brothers, we all have to just work through it together. It's like it's not much you can necessarily say or do with it. Like you don't have control of what goes on. You just can control how you react to the situation, and that's what we all try to do. Just control how we react to whatever is going on and try to perform at our highest level.
Right, because like when you're put in that situation, you just kind of have to make the best of it, right? It's a blend of both worlds, right? Trying to win now with Jimmy, who's been the leader in the locker room, but also develop Trey at the same time, and that's a tightrope almost to kind of walk, right? Like it becomes, like you said, a little tricky to navigate those waters. And again, it was a wild season though, nonetheless, right? Because you guys started your first 2 games with 2 dubs, and
Yep.
then you lost 4 in a row. And then there was injuries in between. I think you were in there for Trey's first start against AZ, but then you
Mm-hmm.
guys go on this crazy run. What was that season like? Because I'm gonna go ahead and say right around Chicago was like we're in playoff mode, because right you
Mm-hmm.
kind of lose 4 and you're like, oh, we're behind the 8 ball now. So
April, you're
we gotta
exactly right.
flip a switch. Like, we can't lose because we have a chance of missing the playoffs completely. So what was that like, going through that situation?
It was like you said, it was like a roller coaster. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. You take a couple steps forward, a couple steps back, and you try to figure out like yourself, your identity, how you gonna play, like knowing like okay, we have to be on our P's and Q's and stay more aggressive. We got to attack now. We can't be on our heels. We got to be the aggressor. We got to take it to the teams. We got to let them know like we are gonna oppose our will. And then we just started playing differently. We just started playing with more intention, playing more diligently. We're moving with a purpose. We all played together, and you can just see it in guys' passion for the game, guys' intent and how they reacted to all things, and it was really really cool. Like, it was really cool to see the development as a team within the season, and seeing guys develop, seeing guys step in the role, seeing guys just whenever whoever was called up step in and play, and that's the best part of like being on a team like that. No matter who it was, we all stepped in and stepped up and played, and that's the type of culture you want to build, and I commend John and Kyle for building that.
I mean, talking about stepping up, that was the Deebo Samuel wideback year, where
Mm-hmm.
he had like to play every role almost, because you had some injuries at running back. Obviously, you lost Mostert the first game of the year, which was such a
Mm-hmm.
big blow. And then you had to take Deebo out of his role and use him almost in that Mostert role. So what was it like watching Deebo just basically ascend to stardom that year?
It was unique, man. That was a special thing to watch young Deebo ascend. What's up, champ? Sorry, little nephew came through to say what's
No,
up.
you're
I had
good.
to
You're
tune in
good.
a little bit. You good? Sit down.
Hi, how you
Yeah,
doing?
good. Awesome. But no, he's it was fun to watch him, step into that role and take charge and like really know like who he is. Like you can tell like he was waiting to break into that role as the guy, and it was fun watching him, flourish in it because he had all the potential, all the ability. Now it was just time for him to be unleashed, and it was fun watching Kyle and Mike, have fun drawing up, scheming up, finding ways to get him the ball and letting him just utilize his talent and his abilities. Like, I remember all the unique plays like that he made that you know gave us that boost of energy, boost of confidence that, had the morale of the team change, tides, and it gave us momentum. Like, it was a big spark for us that year. And I can't wait to see how him and Brandon, play this year for real.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun because that was when McDaniels was a run game coordinator. Kyle, obviously OC, pulling all the strings, calling all the plays. I think that was the year that
Mm-hmm.
you guys really implemented that Zorro concept, where you got guys
Mm-hmm.
just pulling all over the
Mm-hmm.
place, and you got Kittle and Juice. Like, it was a lot of fun, man, because you didn't know where the ball was going at a certain point, and then you're
Yeah,
just like,
no,
put defenses in a blender, right?
it does. It puts you in a blender because it's like if you over pursue, you get run behind. If you don't pursue, you get run by. If you don't fit the gaps right, you get run through. So it's like it doesn't matter what you do. It's just we had to do our job and do it on a high level, and that's the cool part. When you're really watching that offense roll, everybody's moving like one. It's like
Mhm.
11 bees trying to swarm and sting a defense. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. And kind of along those lines, like you've been with Kyle Shanahan on multiple stops, right? With Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
as an OC, then with Kyle at two different stops with the 49ers as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like been watching and being with Kyle, and like your relationship with Kyle and how you've kind of evaluated him? Obviously, you're going to have your own thoughts and opinions on stuff. Like, what do you see from Kyle Shanahan, the OC and the head coach?
I mean, I think Kyle's a great coach. Honestly, he's one of the best coaches I played for, and I've learned so much from him. And seeing him grow throughout the years and seeing him the last couple years just, step into himself and really figure out, who he is. Like he's such a great leader for that team. Like I believe in them, and I know they're gonna win a championship within the next couple years, if it's not this year. Honestly, the way he has the team playing together, he utilizes everybody's strength. He has high expectation for all, and they have high expectation for each other. And the way he communicates with everybody, it's really good. He keeps the open line of communication. It's great communication from player to player, coach to coach, player to coach, and that's what you need to have for a successful team. Right? And he lets the leaders lead the team, and he's just a extension of those guys. So it's really cool, seeing him grow into that. And I'm excited to see how well they do this year.
It's been an interesting time, in 49ers land, as I'm sure you know. We already talked about it. Trey was traded a week ago, and obviously you make the big investment to go up and get him and all that type of stuff. And Kyle's been taking a lot of heat a little bit, and we know that's going to happen. It's going to come along with the territory. Do you think Kyle is deserving of being under any type of like immense scrutiny? Obviously, there's going to be scrutiny that comes along when certain picks don't work out and stuff like that. We understand that part of it, but like you're talking about, like the culture he's built, the leadership that he has, it sounds like the synergy that him and John Lynch have together when it comes to roster building. Like, do you see a scenario at all where the 49ers are like, yeah, you missed on Trey, or it didn't work out with Trey, it's time to turn the page on Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch?
I don't necessarily see that, and if that's the case, they'd be making a big mistake. Honestly, I mean, you see what he's done for the organization in the last 6, 7, however many years he's been there, and like the culture just changed. Like the rosters just changed. It's most talented roster in the league, honestly. If you look, looking on the board, and it's a testament to how those two collabed together and built it. So I mean, I feel like those comments are, too early or too soon. They need to let those guys do what they do, and all things will work out.
Absolutely. I think, underrated aspect is like that group since 2017 has turned out 3 general managers. That group has also turned out 3 head coaches, like in Mike McDaniels, D'Amico Ryans now, love D'Amico. So there's a lot of things that go behind the scenes than just like, oh, we unfortunately this trade didn't work out, right?
No, I mean, sometimes it's not gonna work out the way people expect things. Like that's just how life is. You can't plan things to work out how you dream of them. You have to just go with the flows and be grateful for every opportunity that comes. But at the same time, you can't scrutinize if a mistake was made or someone felt like a mistake was made. No, it wasn't a mistake. That's what they felt as to forgetting Trey. Just because Trey may not pan out with the organization doesn't mean it was a mistake. Like, people may say those things just because it didn't turn out. Like if it turned out the way that they wanted it to, they would say it was a mistake. But that's the society we live in. Really judgmental, and they're gonna judge you on every little thing that you do. So you just got to keep, you just got to keep doing you, and staying in the middle and knowing like, you did that with the right intention. It wasn't like you did that to to try to mess up someone's career. Or you try to like you did an intent to try to build a synergy for both Trey and the Niners. It just didn't work out the way that we all expected and it all playing. Like Trey's still gonna have the career that God intends for him to have. It's gonna be a great one. I know it. But for people saying that, it's wild. Come on.
Now, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. So I do again want to be respectful of your time. We're a little bit over 20 minutes, so I don't want to keep you too much longer. Is it cool if I ask you like one or two more questions and then we'll get you out of here?
Yeah, we got
All
it.
right, man. I appreciate you. I mean, this is awesome. Like, because like it's always great to get this type of insight because we do live in a social media driven world where everyone has access to a platform and we can put out and give out our opinions and things like that. So it is nice to hear from someone who's been in the trenches with these guys in that organization, watching this stuff play out, not only from the inside, but from the outside. So we thoroughly appreciate your insight on this type of stuff. But I do want to talk about Nick Bosa, because as we know, Nick Bosa trying to get Nick paid, man. Hashtag pay Nick Bosa.
They need to pay Nick. They playing. Shoot.
We see eye to eye on that. We need to get Nick paid, man. Talk to me about his importance to the team. Talk to me about his importance to the success that the 49ers have had. And just like, especially looking forward, like you talked about it too, man. I agree with you 100%. This roster is stacked. One of the best rosters in the NFL right now. And one of the reasons why it is that way is because of Nick Bosa. That'd be a big hit not to have Nick Bosa week 1, right? You hear me?
I can hear you now. Sorry, I was getting connected to the car.
Oh, yeah, no worries. You want me to repeat the question?
Please. I lost you like halfway through.
Yeah. No worries. So basically what we're saying, we're talking about the importance of Nick Bosa. Obviously, you played with Nick Bosa, and so you understand how important he is to the overall roster success. We talked about it a second ago. You said, this is probably one of the most stacked rosters in the NFL. Absolutely agree. You got to have Nick Bosa week 1, right? You got to start off hot. We had talked about the 21 season where you started off a little bit slow and how stressful that was. You don't want to start out with Nick Bosa on the sideline, right? He's got to be there week 1.
No, he's like the most important. So like how everything trickles down, right? So like with the game of football, for anybody that knows it, the game is one up front. So it's depending on how fast the D lineman can get to the quarterback and how fast how long the offensive lineman can keep the quarterback from the D lineman. So if you got somebody like Nick Bosa whose track record is to get to the quarterback faster than most NFL other D linemen, and that tells by the number of sacks that he gets, or the number of hurries, or the number of whatever, and that's something that changes the whole momentum of the game. Like it changes the whole everything of the game. Like that, he's that big of a difference. Like is just like is your biggest scorecard on defense, because he's the one that starts. Like the D line, they're the one that start the upfront battle, and having him with Eric Armstead, and then you having Javon in there, or you having
Hargrave now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hargrave's in there. I know he a dog. I ain't never played with him. I ain't never, but he a dog. I'm watching. Mm-hmm. So it's like you have all those guys that are rushing for you. Like it makes Fred Warner's job, Drake Greenlaw's job to go out there and flow freely better. It makes Huff's job to make the plays on the back end, and make Gibbs' job easy on the back end, and make Demo's job help easy, because he knows, okay, I got only 2 seconds, 2.5. I don't gotta cover this dude for 3.5 seconds. Like that's totally different. Like you giving now you're having your DBs having a time clock in their head to know, like, all right, now I can put the full court press on this dude. And you're making the receivers on the offense have to work outside of themselves because you got to work at a faster pace. Whenever you got a D line, you're going against a fast D lineman, receivers have to work at a faster pace because like, my quarterback ain't got the time that I need today. So when your defensive line is stacked like the Niners is, like 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a long day for that offense. And now your offense is able to keep the ball and is able to run the ball, is able to control the clock. And it makes the whole game change. Now, if that component isn't there, your offense, that other team's offense is able to sustain drives longer. They're able to be out there longer. Now, your offense isn't able to run the plays that it's supposed to run. Now, you got to really go out there and try to be pass heavy, or you don't build your rhythm the way you want to. And that's why you see all the teams that win have great defensive linemen, have great defense, and have an offense that complements it to the team. Like, that's why Bosa is so important. So if I was them, I'd get that man stock within the Niners or something, give him a rep share or something. You know what I'm saying? Get that man in the building, because that man, he's somebody that is a regimented person. He works out the same way every week for 20-something weeks. Like, and I'm not talking about he don't skip no workouts. He don't, I ain't never seen nothing like it. He sees something different. And I mean, my locker was a locker away from his. So I saw Nick every day, and he's a special player.
I'm not gonna lie, I love that line. Give him the rev share, give him part ownership in the team.
Give him something, give him something, because and then you show him we really believe in you that much, and get him to play on, make him get 40 sacks, maybe. You know what I'm saying? You got a player think outside the box, but teams don't want to do that. They cause so much trouble.
No, but I feel it. But you're speaking to how important he is, and just whatever he's going to get paid. Of course, he's going to be deserving. He's going to be the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. Probably going for highest paid non-quarterback in history, and he's deserving of it, man. You just listed all the reasons of how impactful and important he is, and I agree with you 100%, man. It all starts in the trenches. It's all line versus D line. And if you can have an optimal D line, we know it's harder to find as good as talent on the offensive line as you can find on the D line. So if you can have an attacking, stunting, blitzing D line with prototypical edges and interior guys, you can dismantle offenses from basically the inside out, right?
That's it. From the ground up. You break them down little by little, and you break their backs down, you break the receivers down, you break the quarterback down, and I mean, once you break through the line, you break them down. What plays they're gonna try to run through you after you've unfolded everybody. And that's the type of monsters they got over there on that 49ers defense.
Yeah, dude, this is phenomenal conversation. Yeah, absolutely. It's a phenomenal conversation, brother. I really do appreciate it. I want to ask you one more question. I'll let you get out of here. But again, anytime we can get any type of insight, man, from dudes who are in it, it provides so much better perspective of the game, for us as fans and everything like that. It helps us learn the game better. And we really do appreciate your time, man. But because we're on the trenches, I'm an O-line guy. So I hold Trent Williams on this pedestal of best offensive lineman of all time. He's just different.
I see that. No,
he's just different.
I ain't never seen nothing like it. Trust me, Trent, he's one of them different animals that walk this earth, and you're just how did God give this man all that ability to move the way he do at that size, with that mindset, that knowledge of the game, understanding of his body, Like, he don't block like a regular offensive lineman. He don't move like a regular offensive lineman. Like, and he don't hit like a regular offensive lineman. That's the cool part. Like, I stole a lot of his blocking techniques and I used them on DBs. Like,
Let's go.
and honestly, and no, I swear, honestly, and it's some of the smartest things I've ever seen or witnessed, because it's like it makes too much sense. Like, it makes so much sense, and it's fun to be able to teach people those things, because that's something the best has that I think one of the best to ever do it has done, and it works for him every time. So it's like, watching, like, I always watch his steps, I watch his hand placement, I watch his body movement, how he drops his weight, how he uses his body. It's insane, like, because you can learn a thing or two about body movement. It's just how football is. Like, all positions are tailored, are kind of the same. It's one-on-one, song and dance from mano a mano. Like, offensive linemen and defensive linemen are dancing with each other. Like a D lineman and a receiver are like the same position, and an offensive lineman and a DB are like the same position. They're defending and they're trying to stop you from getting across, and vice versa. So it's like all those things correlate. So I try to watch him to see, okay, how can I be better at getting by somebody, or because he don't let nobody by him. So it's like trying to teach myself, and it's cool it's a wide be witness to such greatness, honestly.
Bro, that makes me so happy to hear, because I break down the all 22 after every game. So when I come into the tape, I feel like I'm literally like blessed to break down Trent, because you see all the small technical abilities that he has, where he's playing, I call it like he's playing O-line like a defensive lineman, because defensive linemen, they're going for hands, they're swimming, they're trying to manipulate the offensive lineman. He does that to them. He will chop
Exactly.
if they go for the long arm, he's chopping you. If you're trying to over pursue, he's going to change his leverage, and then he's going to snatch you, and you're going to end up on your face. And then he gets you in this blender of like, I don't know what this guy's going to do to me. And then he wins, because not only is he physically gifted, mentally gifted, but then he has them second guessing themselves. And Trent, it's like a master of all things, right? Like physicality, ability, and just the game within the game. And that's so cool to hear that you as a wide receiver have pulled from his game, because I've always thought that. I watch him and I'm like, man, he is playing the game at a completely different level than everyone else.
Different level.
Like
everybody else. It's not even close. Like watching him play football is unique. Like, he plays at a whole different level. And it's like, it's really crazy watching, like, defensive guys try to go against him, and you can see the ones that are scared and the ones that aren't scared, just because they don't know what's about to happen to him. Like you said, like, he uses everybody's strength against them, and they don't like that. So, like, whatever you're doing, he adjusts it to make it your weakness. Like, that's genius. Like, like, they know, like, how you gonna say, okay, I'm gonna make your best move your worst move by just doing the reverse of what you're doing. So if you coming at me with force, okay, I'm gonna put you on your face. Or if you on your heels, okay, I'm gonna take you for a ride. Like if you shoot your hands, I'm gonna knock them down and get inside. Like, instead of, they was like, oh, inside man wins. Okay, no, it's the man that's the smartest wins 9 times out of 10, because he's just seeing what they're doing and reacting off of it.
Bro, I could geek out about O-line all day. I love Trent's game, and again, it makes me happy to hear that you as a wide receiver like soaked up some of that technique, because again, in Kyle's offense, right, no block, no rock, especially from the wide receiver position. It's one of the reasons why we love Brandon Aiyuk so much, is because he's turned into an absolute dog in the run game. So it's been phenomenal to watch. But again, dude, I've already kept you 20 minutes beyond. So I don't want to keep you any longer. So thank you so much for your time, dude. Again, like I said, it's so valuable to be able to just get into the mind of someone who's done it at such a high level for such a long time and can speak to what it takes to play this game and why it's the elite of the elite that are out here doing it. And you played at such a high level for such a long time. And what's your path look like? Are you still trying to get onto a roster? Maybe we see some of that emergency quarterback, or are you trying to get into coaching?
Like,
What are you thinking?
honestly, like, if the opportunity arises, yeah, I would love to play. But I mean, I don't know what the holds, like what the future holds. Like, I stay in shape, I stay ready. Like, honestly, so like, I run my routes, I lift, I run my hills, I do all that stuff. So like, that's just because it's who I am. So, but I'm not tripping if I don't play. Like, I can coach if I want to, but I'm just at the place where it's like I'm at peace, and like if I get an opportunity to play, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna destroy some shit. That's just what it is. But if I don't, then they're missing out on some. It's just I'm just being honest. You know, like you said, when you master some things and you put the time into it and effort and to understanding it at a higher level, to be playing at a different level than everybody else, you feel a certain way about it. So yeah, I feel that way about my work.
Hell yeah, man. You've been a dog your whole career. And whatever happens next, man, you know, we're rooting for you. The whole chat appreciates your time, man. They're loving all the insight that you brought us, giving us a piece of your day to come on here and talk to us, talk some football. You got a bunch of diehards in here, man, that are just loving everything that you got to the table. Anything you cooking on? What are you working on right now? Like I know you working on some stuff.
So I got a training facility where I'm heading to right now. We train kids. We train kids from 5 years old and all the way to adults in their 80s. Like, we train, so we do like the family oriented vibe. So moms come in, do their triple, whatever their boot camp, whatever they're doing, and then we'll have the kids doing speed and agility class, working on basic movements, teaching them how to, you know, be athletic, teach them how to be athletes, and knowing how to apply themselves, knowing how to work their mind, knowing how to just teaching kids at an early age so they're ahead of the game when the opportunity arises for them. Like, because a lot of these kids inspired to be where we are, so why not, you know, give back to them and stay within the community. And so I do it in the area I'm in. My son's in there all the time, but it's called Legacy Sports Complex. We're opening up in a few, you know, currently, and I'm gonna put them all around the country. So we kind of pick up kids from after school, the busing system. So like we pick up from 27 different schools, 49 different buses. It's growing rapidly, but we opened up actually in December, January, and we're opening up the second facility in November. So it's going pretty good. So
dude, that's awesome, man.
Thanks, G.
Well, yeah, you ever open up in the Bay?
Brandon in it. Huh?
I was saying, if you ever open up in the Bay, I got you.
Yeah, I'll bring one out to the Bay.
But that's awesome, man. So again, dude, thank you again for your time. Awesome that you are doing some awesome stuff off the field. We thank you so much. Again, the chat is just super appreciative of your time, man. Everything that you brought to the table, amazing insight as always. And we're always going to be a fan of you here. We appreciate your time with the Niners and appreciate everything you're doing, man. So thank you so much. I'm going to kick it with the people for a little bit. Feel free to drop out, but thank you so much, man.
Peace.
All right, man.
Y'all be blessed.
Peace. Shout out to Mohamed Sanu. Man, I love talking to players. It's such a different level of like football like football discourse. Like when you talk to someone like whose life is football. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and he gave some great insight, you know, just again, being able to talk about like where Trey's at right now, working with Trey, working with Aiyuk. He worked with Aiyuk this offseason. and just being a leader in that room, talking about Nick Bosa. They better better stop playing with Nick Bosa. Um, and it was awesome. That was awesome, man. Shout out to Sanu. Never interviewed anyone who was getting chiropractic work in the beginning. I remember we did the interview with Charles O'Menihue, and he was going to a workout, and Eric Armstead was driving him. Remember, we had Eric Armstead as the Uber driver for O'Menihue, but that was our first time interviewing someone while they got chiropractic. Dude, they popped his neck. I was like, ooh. I was like, I heard that. That was loud. So that was a first. Um, but shout out to Sanu, man. He's a busy man. For him just to make some time with us, I'll take it. I'll take it. No issues here. But shout out to Sanu, man. Dude has a ton of knowledge. Talk about vibes, man. Like, that's just a cool dude. Like, that's just a great dude. Like, he just seems super chill, super down to earth. Um, I mean, I that seems like a guy that you would love to have in your locker room. Just love to have in your corner. Um, he's awesome, man, dude. Like you never know, right? Like when you haven't really talked. I've never talked to Sanu. Like, we follow each other on Instagram, but I've never talked to Sanu. And so, like, you never know going into these, like, what the personality is going to be like. And I mean, talk about just genuine, awesome human. Uh, you could feel it. You could feel it through the chiropractic work. Bro, the comments were going wild when they were doing like the gun on his back. I was trying to keep it together. You guys were going crazy in the chat. I was trying to keep it together. I was really trying to keep a straight face. Really trying to keep a straight face, but you guys almost made me lose it a couple times. But always fun, man. Doing player interviews, getting to talk to these guys. I love what he said about Trent Williams, dude. I love what he said about Trent Bosa. The thing that I loved about Trent was that he just like opened up and just started gushing about Trent Williams. Again, this is a Trent Williams stan account. Like, I got the Trent Williams jersey, right there. This is a Trent Williams stan account. So when he's talking, and we do film breakdowns all the time on Trent. Like, we're breaking down his technique, we're breaking down what he's doing every game. And to hear him just go on and on about, like, man, I'm taking things from his game, as a wide receiver, and I'm implementing it into my game. That's awesome. Like, because we've talked about this for years now. It's like Trent's on a different level, and we're like, man, why can't other guys incorporate these types of technique into their games? And right there, you have a wide receiver like, man, Trent's got it figured out. I've taken stuff from his game, I put it into my game. I love that. You guys know I'm a sucker for blocking. If you can block and you take it seriously, you get a key to my heart, because I just love, former offensive lineman. I'm about that life. So love to hear that. Overall, though, just great person, great vibes, great energy. That's definitely at the top of the list of wildest settings and backdrops to an interview, with the chiropractic work. But still made for a phenomenal interview. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And all that stuff. Chris says, I'm going to be on YouTube now watching chiropractic massage videos. it was like an ASMR football interview, like all kind of like mixed in one. We got like the cracks and the pops and the vibrations. So it was a sensory interview. So we got the kind of the best of both worlds there. But yeah, man, it was fun, dude. It's fun. It's so fun talking football with football players. Like, there's just nothing better. There's nothing better because obviously they understand the game at just such a high level, and play at such a high level, and their insight is so unique to anything else that we can kind of conjure up. Like we do our best and we try to make sense of everything. Um, but again, nothing compares to getting a guy who's done it, dude. I mean, Sanu has played for the Bengals, Falcons, Patriots, Lions, Dolphins, and the 49ers twice. That dude has played a lot of football, and he's been in a lot of spots, and he's had a lot of coaches. And also, one of the things that he said, speaking of coaches, again, perspective on this situation with Trey Lance. And he's a Trey Lance guy, right? Like he talked about it. He worked with Trey before he was even in the draft process because he worked with Quincy Avery, Trey's quarterback coach down in Atlanta. That's so Sanu's always working with those guys and stuff. So Sanu is a Trey guy, right? Like he loves Trey. And I thought the perspective that he brought about Trey and still believing in Trey. See, this is the thing, like where that gets lost, I think, in the conversation amongst certain 49er fans or content creators. It's like you can love Trey and wish him success and whatever, even if he's on the Cowboys. But you can also look at what Kyle has done and understand that Kyle is still a really good coach. And Kyle and John have built something that is special here. And even though it didn't work with Trey, and he talked about it, the fine line of having Jimmy and Trey, having the leader of your team, but he's getting, you got the next man up in the building and they're trying to work him in. Like it was a hard scenario, right? It was a hard situation for those guys to work through. But again, like what we get right now with the 49ers discourse, it's like, oh, if I'm pro Trey, I can't stand Kyle. I can't even do I can't think straight with Kyle. Like Kyle's on the hot seat. Kyle's got to get out of here. And it's just like two things can be true at one time. You can still love Trey and you can have like, believe in Trey. And even if it didn't work out with Trey, you can still like Kyle. Like, and you can still understand that, hey, Kyle, there's no perfect coach. A perfect coach doesn't exist. But what Kyle has done, what he's built, the culture that he's built, the staff that he's built, everything that he has done, the fact that people are trying to manufacture a hot seat for Kyle, like, again, I get it. The trade didn't work out. Most spoke to that. It just didn't work out. It wasn't a fit. It was bad timing. Again, we've talked about this, trying to bring Trey into Jimmy's locker room. It was difficult. It was a difficult scenario. And again, it was unique and it didn't pan out. But, you can still like Trey and you can still like Kyle at the same time. And I think that's just what's missed on a lot of people. It's like, yeah, did the situation work out perfectly? No. Did it happen the way we wanted to go? No. But it's like they have proven, Kyle, John, they have proven that they are the best man for this job right now. And, that's what it's going to be. That's what it is. And not everything's going to work out perfectly. It's a lot of moving parts and not everything's going to work. And unfortunately, that one didn't work out. But the 49ers got Brock. Damn, I didn't even ask him about Brock. I just realized that. Damn it. I got too caught up in the chiropractic work. I forgot to ask him about Brock. Oh well. I know he doesn't know Brock personally, so he did give some great perspective on Trey, though. But phenomenal interview. I love the bullishness that he had on getting Bosa paid. He's one of us. He's one of us. He's one of the hashtag pay Nick Bosa gang. He's one of us. He wants to get Nick Bosa paid. He said, give him some ownership, give him some rev share. Whatever it takes, man, get Bosa paid, get him in here. So great interview. Again, my ADHD was kicking up a little bit with all the stuff that was going on, but we were able to get it. We were able to get it done. He gave phenomenal answers, very insightful, very thoughtful, great energy, great vibes. Appreciate Mohamed, man, for hopping on and chopping it up with us. It's hard to get these guys on, man. It's hard to these guys have busy lives. They're doing things, it's hard for them to, carve out a piece of time and sit down and doing all that stuff. So it was awesome, man. So shout out to him. Shout out to all these guys that give some of their time to kind of connect with the fan base with us a little bit. It's greatly appreciated. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm gonna keep trying to cook some stuff up. I know you guys know, like I kind of just cook by myself for the most part because I do so many different things that it's really hard to like schedule time a lot. So it's why I don't have a whole lot of guests a lot. It just I do so many different things with all my platforms that finding the time is difficult. But I'm gonna try to make some more time for more guys because again, it's such a awesome conversation to get guys on here that have played the game at a high level and they know what it takes. They can provide the insight. We can say what we want to say, but it means so much more when we hear it from those guys. So we'll see what we got. See what we got cooking. I agree. We're back to Bosa watch. I'm not gonna lie. I was like low key nervous. I was like, please, I want Nick Bosa to get paid, but I don't want him to get paid while I'm on stream with Mo because I'm going to lose all focus. I'm going to lose all intention of the interview and I'm just going to go insane. I'm going to have to start posting everywhere. So I was like, please, like, pay Nick Bosa, but just don't pay him while we're on stream with Mo, because if they paid him on stream with Mo, my train of thought would have went whoop. I'm like, we're doing an interview? No, all we're doing is getting hyped and going crazy about Bosa getting paid, and he's just gonna be like, it's like, all right, and I'm just, oh, we paid Bosa, like, man, that would have been nuts, dude. That would have been talk about a reaction, having a player on while Nick gets paid. And again, he feels strongly about Nick getting paid. Like, he feels strongly about that. So man, that would have been something. But I agree. We are back on Bosa watch. What are we thinking? What are we thinking with Bosa? I'm bro, every notification I'm like hypersensitive to right now. I'm looking for anything that would have an indication. I am like I am looking at my phone too much right now. Like, I'm waking up at like 6 in the morning, but I am not a morning person. I'm not a morning person at all because I stay up too late. Like it gets like I work so much throughout the day. Like, believe it or not, I spend like 16 hours a day doing this stuff, like making content, posting content, finding content, all this type of stuff. I spend a lot of time doing this so that by the time I get in bed and it's like 11, 12 o'clock, that's like my first opportunity to relax. So I end up like doing this thing where like I want to stay up so I can relax. And so I stay up late and then I'm like, "Ah, I got to wake up early in the morning." So like I'm waking up at like 6. I got like one eye on notifications. I can barely see. I'm like trying to read notifications. I'm like, Bosa, Bosa, Bosa. I'm like, no, okay, Bosa's not getting paid. I'm like, all right. I put my alarm back on. Every 10 minutes it goes off. I'm like, Bosa, Bosa, Bosa. I'm like, okay, no, go back. 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, but I'm ready for that to be over. I'm for sure ready for that to be over. Um, but yeah, man. Let's get this guy paid. Let's get this guy paid. We need it. We want it. Gotta have it. Gots to get him paid. Gotta get him paid. I'm actually looking right now. I'm like, anything pop off while we were on live? Anything pop off while we were on live? I don't think so. I've seen the stuff about the 4 million. There's like a 4 million gap. So we'll see. We'll see what that's about. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. 49ers drew a line in the sand with Kittle at 2 million and really made it difficult to cross that line from that, basically close that $2 million gap and get Kittle at 15. So I'm not surprised by the 4 million. Like I said, 49ers drew a really tough stand with Kittle over 2 million. So they're drawing a tough sand with 4 million. So I'm not surprised by that. Not surprised by that at all. Sounds pretty on brand. All to just pay him in the end. All just to give him what he actually wanted in the end. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Come on, Parag. Come on, dog. We're rooting for you. We're rooting for you, man. I said it. I was like, when they pay Trent Williams, I was like, if they get Trent Williams paid, I'm never going to speak a bad word about Parag Marate. I'm still holding true to that. But Parag, come on, let's get us across the finish line. Let's get this thing done. You can do it, Parag. We believe in you. We'll celebrate you again once you get us our guy paid. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. It's 1:30. Obviously, if you know Nick Bosa's getting paid, we're going straight on the live. We're gonna go crazy and do all that type of stuff. So we're on Bosa watch. We're on Bosa watch. Hopefully, hopefully it happens within the next day or two. If it if we get issues by Sunday, I'm not gonna love it. If this goes into the week, not gonna love it. But we're on the brink of panic mode. I said if we get to Sunday and Bosa isn't signed, I'm panicking. So we're days away. We're days away from going into full blown panic mode. I don't want to go there. Don't want to go there. But we'll see. Again, shout out to everyone for tapping in and vibing with me and Mo Sanu. Appreciate it as always. You guys already know when you guys drop in the chat, have good vibes, good energy. It always rubs off. So I appreciate it, especially when we have guests. So big shout out to the SDS. You guys, the vibes were immaculate today. So it doesn't go unnoticed. And I do appreciate it very much. It helps. It really does help the interview go along, and I mean it a lot. When you guys have good energy in the chat and we're interviewing someone new to the channel, it really helps keep. I feed off the energy, so I appreciate it. I really do. And I just want to let you guys know that. So shout out to you guys. You guys did. It's not just me doing the interview. You guys did a phenomenal job as well. So thank you guys. We'll see. I might come back on live later. You never know. But appreciate you guys as always for vibing, and grab your cookies on the way out if you stayed the whole way. And I'm out of here for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to